Hey everyone, RJ here with CV Tech, and today I'm going to give you my opinions on the top Boost Mobile phones under $200 for the end of the year and for the Christmas season. Now maybe you're out there and we're wanting a phone from Boost Mobile and for Christmas, or maybe a Christmas gift, something like that. So I got some phones here, and I'm going to give you some specs of the phones, give you just a little small brief opinion on what I think of the phones, and maybe if you're out there trying to make up your mind on what to buy or something like that, maybe this video will help you out a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started in this video. Okay, y'all, so before I really get into this video here, I want to make mention that all the prices that I'll be quoting to y'all on all these phones here will be from the bestbuy.com online website. Now, of course, prices will vary in different stores like Walmart, Target, online, boostmobile.com, or even Boost Mobile stores, as port-in specials sometimes are a lot cheaper than anywhere you can go, and upgrade prices at Boost Mobile stores. So, but these here are prices that are current right now at bestbuy.com on their online website as of Saturday, December 17th. Now, of course, prices will vary and they can change. They can go up, they can go down. But these are, like I said, are the current prices. So all the specs are wrote down right here on all the phones on my cell phone here. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first phone that I want to make mention of here is the LG X Power. Now this phone is a great device. Really, I have nothing bad to say about it. It's just an awesome device that works very well, very powerful little device, and it's a very, very highly recommended device. Now, some of the specs are a 5.3-inch 720p display. It does run Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow. It does have an 8 megapixel camera on the rear with a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. And the main attraction is the battery. It's got a 4100 milliamp hour battery. It is not user replaceable, so it is an internal battery with around 33 hours of talk time, and standby time is just awesome on this thing. This phone runs the 1.8 gigahertz octa-core MediaTek chipset with 2 gigabytes of RAM and 16 gigabytes of onboard storage, and current price is $99.99. So my very quick thought, this is a great device, very powerful, it works well, and seriously, I've not had any issues with this phone. It just works really good. So number two here that I want to make mention of will be the LG Tribute HD. This phone right here has had a variety of prices everywhere I've went. Black Friday was the best deal, $20 at bestbuy.com. But the prices have went up since then, of course. So this phone is a great little device as well. It's very light, very slick, but it's a good little device that fits good in the hand. And so yeah, it's just a cool little device. Some of the specs are a 5-inch 720p display, runs Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow, has an 8 megapixel camera on the rear with a 5 megapixel camera on the front. It's got a 2100 milliamp hour battery that is replaceable, so you can buy spare batteries, because this battery here really don't last very long. This phone runs the 1.3 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon 212 chipset with 1.5 gigabytes of RAM and 16 gigabytes of onboard storage, and current price is $49.99 at Best Buy. So my little first thoughts here is this is a great little device. Very popular little device that really, unless you are a heavy gamer, this phone will suit you just fine. It's got plenty of power for normal basic usage, for social media apps, all that stuff. But if you're a heavy gamer, this phone here might be a little bit of a disappointment, as it does tend to lag up and slow down on high-powered games. So, on to the next phone here will be the Samsung Galaxy J3. Now, I've had this phone for quite some time, and I can honestly say this has been a phenomenal device. It just works well. It works good. It works well. It does everything well. Now, some of the specs are a 720p HD Super AMOLED display with a pixel density of 294 ppi. This phone does run Android 5.1.1 Lollipop with a 5 megapixel camera on the rear with a 2 megapixel camera on the front. It's got a 2600 milliamp hour battery that is user replaceable, which is really nice. Has the 1.2 gigahertz quad core Snapdragon 410 chipset with 1.5 gigabytes of RAM and 16 gigabytes of onboard storage. And this phone is currently $99.99 at Best Buy. Now this phone right here, of course, runs version of TouchWiz, but this phone runs very good. It's got a gold color to it. It's a very beautiful phone. It feels really good in the hand, and this phone just does everything good. I mean, I really have been very satisfied with the Galaxy J3, and I don't think that you can really go wrong with this phone here. So the next phone here will be the phone that I have in my hand, and that is the LG Stylo 2. This phone right here, of course, has a variety of prices as well. I've had this phone for quite some time. It does have your stylus pin up here, even though I lost mine and still can't find it. This has been a very great phone. This is a good phone if you want to watch media, watch videos, Netflix, stuff like that. It's just a really good device. Now, some of the specs here on this phone is a 5.7 inch HD 720p display. Yeah, 5.7 inch 720p HD display. Runs Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow. Has a 13 megapixel rear facing camera with a 5 megapixel front facing camera. This thing has a 3000 milliamp hour battery that is user replaceable, so that's always nice as well. This phone is a 1.2 gigahertz quad core Snapdragon 410 chipset with 2 gigabytes of RAM and 16 gigabytes of onboard storage. And current online price at Best Buy is only $74.99. So that's a very good deal for the LG Stylo 2. The phone works very well. Had it for quite some time. And the phone just looks good. I mean, the screen looks good. The phone looks good and feels good. Has your back buttons here. And like I say, I really have nothing bad to say about the LG Stylo 2. It just works great, functions great, and I'd highly recommend it. So on for the next phone here is a phone that I do not currently have in my possession. I do have one coming, but I don't have it here right now. And that is the ZTE Warp 7. Now that phone is a great little device. I had it before, I returned it, and now I ordered another one, so it'll be here in a few days. Wish I had it right here at hand, but I don't have it right now. Now this phone here has a 5.5 inch 720p display, Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow, a 13 megapixel rear facing camera, and a 5 megapixel front facing camera. It's got a 3080 milliamp hour battery that is user replaceable, and it runs the 1.2 gigahertz quad core Snapdragon 410 chipset with 2 gigabytes of RAM and 16 gigabytes of onboard storage. And current price for that phone is $99.99. Now that phone works very well. It's a slight upgrade to the Warp Elite, but the phone just feels really good. It's snappy, and I really can't say much about it because I don't own it right now, but I have owned it and I have used it. And the phone did work very well when I did have it. Camera was good. The phone functioned about like the Stylo 2. It had the same specs as far as processor goes, as the Stylo 2. So it works very well. And all these phones do have extendable storage as well, if I haven't mentioned that already. So that phone right now is $100 at BestBuy.com. The next phone is a phone that I don't currently have. Hopefully will soon, but I've heard a lot of good things about it, and that is the Samsung Galaxy J7. Now that phone, from what I hear, is a great device that works pretty much flawlessly from what I have been told and heard and everything else. Now this phone has a 5.5 inch 720p Super AMOLED display with 6.0.1 Marshmallow. Got a 13 megapixel camera on the rear with a 5 megapixel front facing camera with a flash, front and rear flash, which is really awesome. It's got a 3000 milliamp hour battery, a 1.4 gigahertz octa-core Snapdragon 615 or 617. It's one of the two, but very close together anyway. So 615, 617, pretty close. With 2 gigabytes of RAM and 16 gigabytes of onboard storage. And the current price of it is pretty steep right now at $179.99. Now, the last phone that I want to make mention of is a phone that has been out for a while, but it's right under the $200 price mark, and that is the Apple iPhone 5S. Now, this phone, since I have had it, has worked flawlessly. I will say this is a 3-year-old phone. It currently runs the current version of iOS at 10.2. This phone here has just been a great device. We gotta be honest with you. This phone has a 4-inch display at 640 by 1136 Retina display with a 326 ppi. This phone does run the latest version of iOS 10.2. It's got an 8 megapixel eyesight camera on the rear with a 1.2 megapixel camera on the front. It's got a 1570 milliamp hour battery, which is this mainly only downside to this phone, and it's also non-replaceable. It's got a 1.3 gigahertz dual core 64-bit Apple A7 chipset with 1 gigabyte of RAM. This version here is the 16 gigabyte onboard storage model. Now, this phone does currently run for $199.99. Now this phone here does not have any expendable storage. It's got an aluminum build. And like I may mention, this phone has just been very solid, very awesome. The only downside I would say about this phone here would be the battery life. Battery life just does not last very long. But overall, great phone, highly recommended. So in closing, that were just some of my opinions and thoughts of some of the best phones end of the year here for Christmas gifts, or just for something you want to buy. So yeah, if this was helpful in any way, hit that like button. I sure appreciate it. Comment down below what y'all think of this video. I really appreciate that as well. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. That'd be awesome. Y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all in the next video.